This is the Tier 10 German tech tree medium, the E-50M. It is a vehicle that's always known for being incredibly troll, considering that you have a full-on upper infrastructure right here that the majority of standard ammunition can't really cut through. You even have a turret armor that exceeds the limits to that of some heavies in that regards, sitting at 285 millimeters thick, which is absolutely crazy to even think about. You also have a very solid gun paired with fairly solid DPM levels and very nice maneuverability along with that. Now within the present update of 11.3, this vehicle has surprisingly enough gotten mega buffed. Its DPM got better along with its reloads, going from 6.9 average to now 6.52. So if you are running your provisions and your consumables, it brings the reload down to 6.16 when running Cali, and your DPM exceeds that of 3,300, which is absolutely crazy to even think about. The vehicle also got reactive armor, which will reduce the damage taken by 27% from any shells that are fired in on your vehicle. Not only that, the side of the turret and the side in general got buffed a little bit, which will make side scraping without a doubt fairly more effective on this vehicle, which means you'll get a lot more troll bounces when you are in a side scrape, whether you're poking behind a building, a house, a hill, doesn't really matter in terms of that. But for the other stats of the vehicle, you can see that the front of its hull is also upwards of 174, to which the armor profile would look like this. With standard ammunition, yeah, this is what you can expect. The turret can't really be overmatched at all, as it's really thick. Upwards of 300 on the front turret right here, and then the sides that are angled are upwards of about 390 to 380. The full-on upper infrastructure, like I said, is extremely troll, sitting at 325 to 330. Of course, you got a lower plate right here, to which 100% of the time can be overmatched, upwards of 191. When running heats, on the other hand, with Cali, yeah, you can pen the turret more easily, but the angular parts that are over on the sides of the turret are still going to be very hard hits, considering that they're thickened now to 450 to 430. The upper plate is still fairly troll, sitting at 350 as well, which means if you are using your bits of gun depression, won't really make much of a difference as well, as it still thickens it only now to 320. So it is still going to be effective when poking over with its 8 degrees of gun depression over those angular ridge lines, but don't expect to be bounced frequently on the turret on this thing. So that's something to do keep in mind about that. So once we make it towards the side of the vehicle, the side of the turret is 128, and then the full-on side is 119. Side scraping capabilities have improved as well, surprisingly enough, so if a tank is spotted at a position like this with standard ammunition, can't really cut through it. It's about the same as the side of the turrets right here when running your heat shells at about 450, where if I am running my heats and my Cali, it thickens it now to 542, which is absolutely insane to even think about. No tank in general is pretty much going to pen this thing while it's in a side scrape. So that's something to do keep in mind after its sides did end up getting a massive buff to them. So finally, for the rear of the vehicle, the back of the turret is only 92, and then the full-on rear is only 104, in which this case, it's still going to be thick in order to be withstand by HE shells. When running your calibrated shells, after the changes to it, it now has enough pen factors in order to cut through the majority of spaced armor, which is actually fairly surprising. So for the standard, it's got 257. For the premium, it's got 339 and 65 on the high explosive. Then for the average damage, 340 on the standard, 300 on the premium, and 450 on the high explosive. Combined as well with a fairly solid 3.1 second aiming time with 0.262 dispersion. And then for the fun part, the vehicle goes 60 forward and 20 in reverse, and it also has a power to weight of 22 evenly. Back in the day when I used to own the E-50, I wasn't that necessarily a big fan of it, considering that it didn't really have that high of pen factors in order to cut through a lot of spaced armor, until it all changed after calibrated shells did necessarily give a lot of tanks with APCRs and heat shells the opportunity to have increased levels of penetration. So now this vehicle is at a point to where it is currently in a very busted state, including the gun with the very solid DPM that it carries, as you're just able to butter through your vehicles like absolutely nothing. So here we are going into game number 1. Let's see what they got. They have a Bat Chat, they have a Leopard one, and they also, okay, so that looks like all they have for their maneuverability. Looks like ourselves have a WZ-132-1. I have really no idea why our team is heading on towards the right side. That is unfortunate. So Yeah, I would hold up as well, bro, because that's absolutely crazy that none of the heavies want to try to support us at the bare minimum crossing over towards the bay right over to the side. Or the river, I should say. Yeah, I do most certainly agree that these guys are dummies, bro. So now they've pretty much decided to just want to go middle. I have no idea why, but I guess the only thing that we can possibly do... Oh, looks like our guy got pecked off in the back, so... It's unfortunate to see that... Oh, okay, interesting. It looks like their leopard decided to want to go towards the right as well. So really the only thing that we got to kind of be careful of is if vehicles are planted off in the back and pretty much the enemies are just surrounding the full-on right side of the map. So let's go ahead and mosey on through. I also want to be careful about what's going to poke on out over towards the side as well. We got the BZ-68 right there. I don't know if I can get a shell into him at the moment. We also got the ST-1 spotted now, so let's go ahead and get a nice tap into him. He does pen that, which is totally alright. So let's go ahead and get him back with that with a nice miss into the side of his vehicle. Okay. I did expect that shell to hit right through the fence as I did merely switch to my APCRs, but that didn't seem to want to be the case because my RNG is pretty much the worst out of anybody's in this godforsaken game. So, anyways, we got the ST-1 once again. Looks like he's moseying on down. Let's see if we can get a tap into him real quick. There we go. 368 into his vehicle. All right, we're going to reload once again, and I'm going to demonstrate the side scraping of this vehicle as well. So, there we go. And there it is. A nice solid bounce on that ST-1 at that. So let's go ahead and... Oh, he's not going to poke once again. We got the 183 off to the side. Looks like that he is out in the open, or it looks like that he was about to be. We're just going to wait. Fire in a nice shot for 345 into him. All right. And then we're going to side scrape, plop on the reactive, and get a finishing clear into you. Beautiful. All right. Let's see if this ST-1 is still spotted right over here. Okay, it looks like he moved. So let's go ahead and mosey on towards him now. Let's go ahead and get a nice tap into the side of his turret. There we go. All right, reloading once again. Gonna plop on the adrenaline. He pens that, which is unfortunate, but we do have enough DPM factors to finish him off lickety-split. And now we got a bat chat off in the back. Let's go ahead and quickly get a nice tap for 345 into him. You can see where the gun just comes into play with this vehicle, especially for the amount of DPM that it carries, as you're allowed to just butter right through your enemies like absolutely nothing, even before they get in and out of danger zones pretty much. So let's go to mosey on towards the bat chat right over here. It's unfortunate that my ammo rack did end up getting destroyed, so let's just go ahead and mosey on right over here. Oh, it looks like we are spotted by the Foch. All right, so I'm just going to go right towards this bat chat then. I'm actually going to wait right here just in case if he does want to decide to want to tunnel me. Well, it's a 3-on-3 scenario, so this is going to be a little bit of a strange situation to deal with. All right, we got the Foch right over there. All right, looks like he got finished off. We got the Leopard off to the side. Looks like he's going to be finished off here momentarily. So I do want to plop on my reactive just in case if this bat chat over here wants to try to get some kerblunkers into me. All right, which looks like it is going to be the case. So let's plop that on real quick. Get a nice tap for 425. And then we just go on out. Wait for our gun to reload once again. And get another nice tap. Okay, unfortunately it rolls, but that's still totally fine. You can see the pretty good factors that contribute towards the E-50. Side scraping is without a question very beneficial for this thing now that it got that side armor buff. As you saw that we were able to deflect a couple shells off of that, or just one shell specifically off of that ST-1. Unfortunately, if he does pen the rest, but that's totally alright. Still a fairly solid result in this one. Doing above 3,000 damage, doing top on the team wall at that. So let's go ahead and hop right on into our second battle and see how we could fare well. In the current state that the E-50M is in, I do gotta say that it is a very deadly vehicle. And I do really like it much better to what it was to when I previously owned the vehicle back on my old account. So it's really changed drastically over the years. But now after several changes have been made in the game, it really just makes this thing a very deadly target to face. So anyways, let's see what they got in terms of their maneuverability. They have another E-50, and that looks like all they have, interestingly enough. We got us a Wind Peaks at that, so let's go to mosey right on over here. We can maybe peck some guys off that are most likely going to cross right over here. I'm going to see if I can get into a scrape right over here once again, just in case. Alright, so it's just a matter of time and hoping that they do end up poking themselves out in the open through this spot. It's a fairly popular position to go, especially on caves, so. Alright, so now it's just a matter of waiting a little bit, so. Alright, looks like we got some enemies off in the back right over here. Alright, so let's go ahead and mosey on forward. Oh, we got an E-100. He does end up moseying on through at the last second. Got a Rhino off in the back. There we go. Nice tap into him for 321. Alright, we got the E-50 over to the side. Let's plop on the reactive, and unfortunately be a little too late about that, which is unfortunate, and he does end up scraping at the last second. So let's go ahead and get another nice tap to make up for the first one, and now the E-50 is basically getting kerblunkered in the process. Also got the E-4. Alright, he pens me again, which is alright. Let's go ahead and wait for our dispersion factors to decrease. Get another nice tap into him. Reload once again. Alright, he gets finished off. That's beautiful. Alright, let's go ahead and continue moseying on forward. Looks like we got the Yag spotted off in the back. Let's go ahead and move our way towards him. We also got the E3 off in the back. I thought I was able to spot him, but that most certainly was not the case. So let's go ahead and wait right here for this Yag to poke on out just a little bit. Alright, Stinker, I know you want to. Oop, can we overmatch his roof? Unfortunately not. It did look like it was a pen at that too, so. Alright, so the Yag fires, so let's see. Not able to get that in, but he's probably going to back up a little more. Just barely. Alright, anyways. Let's go ahead and mosey on upwards then, as we know for a fact that enemies are basically getting kerblunkered off in the back, and this is the only guy that's over here pretty much. Let's get a nice tap for 359. We're reloading once again. Ooh, and somebody's off in the back. Oh, it's the 95. Interesting. Well, the good news is that we have just enough pen factors in order to butter right through his armor like absolutely nothing. Alright, so I'm actually just going to kind of help out my Yag right over here. See if I can clear this Yag right here. Let's get another tap for 360 right there. Reloading once again. Let's hurry up and see if we can finish off this Yag real quick. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, we also got the 95 off in the back. Let's go ahead and wait right here, just in case if these stinkers decide to want to end up poking on out. There's the E3 right there. Let's go ahead and wait. Unfortunately missed that. I don't even know how. That's crazy. So anyways, E3 is going to continue moving on forward, so let's go ahead and wait still. And let's go ahead and get a nice tap into his lower plate right there. Alrighty, and we're just going to reload once again. We're going to plop on the reactive just in case. Get a nice tap into his hatch, and he does happen to use HEs on us. Alright, so this is a little bit of a predicament. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go upwards and try to see if I can get the high ground and deal with these guys to the best of my ability. So that would possibly be a good play upon my behalf, as we do know that the T95 over there is most certainly a target that I am a little bit concerned about. I'm surely enough that the Wind Peaks is as well. So let's go ahead and wait right here. We are in the range of a one-shot, surprisingly enough, for this guy too. So let's go ahead and miss the first shell. That's totally alright. So I just got to make sure that this guy can't really do nothing towards us. See, the Wind Peaks is trying to bait a shell from him, but that's really not going to be the case in terms of that. So I'm hoping he's going to flank, but at the same time, oh boy, he gets kerblunkered. Alright, that's crazy. Alright, well, I'm going to see if I could try to get another pot shot into this guy. Unfortunately not. Well, it looks like we are going to lose this battle, unfortunately enough, as I don't really know what the possible outcome of this one was. Well, that Yo considerably got lucky, and yeah, that's a loss. Well, our shots didn't really go to where exactly we were aiming, which is unfortunate, but I can't really complain. We still managed to try to do our job, just trying to hold these guys off before they were trying to poke on out much further. Still doing 28-34, surprisingly doing top on the team once again. Our team just couldn't hold to their ability pretty much. Alright, let's go ahead and hop on into our last battle and see how I can fare well in the E-50M. Not that the gun is necessarily that bad, it really just only wants to work when it wants to, especially if you're a player like myself that has the worst RNG in the game, and Wargaming just wants to screw me for the majority of the time, especially with the MM. It's pretty much just a 50-50 in terms of that. So, alright, here we are in our third battle. Looks like we got a Kraken player with us as well, so let's see how we can fare well upon this, and it looks like that he is in the SCB. We got a Leopard, we got a 95 E6, and a Char. Alright, so let's go to mosey on towards the right then with our Kraken guy and hold these guys off over here that try to push on upward towards C-Base. So I actually am in a tank that would probably be able to outmatch these guys, just sit and put right here, waiting for them to poke on out towards C, like the Leopard 1 right there. Beautiful shot right there for 349 into his vehicle. Alright, looks like that he is getting kerblunkered off in the back as well. The 54 E1. We got the Char off in the back. We're going to wait for him to poke. Alright, not able to spot him, surprisingly enough. Alright. Well, he did get kerblunkered off in the back by something. That's the question or the concern on what it is. Got the Char right there. Oh, a beautiful shot for 345 into his turret. Alright, that's the beauty part of just having a solid gun up against the Char, because it basically has no armor at that. Alright, so let's go ahead and mosey on through. We got the Leopard once again. Unfortunately, not able to get that shell out as I hesitated a little bit before he could get back into cover. So let's wait once again. See if this Leopard is going to make another poke at that. So, oh, which it looks like he's probably not. So, let's just go ahead and mosey on forward right here. Oh, it looks like that the T-30 is off in the back as well. Let's go ahead and see if we can blunker this stinker real quick. Okay, he's not spotted. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, the good news is that we can deal with these stinkers over here. Looks like the Char is making a very aggressive maneuver. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the T-54. But it looks like he's making a very dire mistake at that. And he gets cleared for that. Alright, so let's go ahead and aim on in towards the Leopard right over there. Alright, we also got the Yag right off to the side. Let's go ahead and get a quick slap into him. There we go. Alright, he gets clear, which is unfortunate. But the good news is... Okay, well, I was going to say that we were able to blunker him for a solid chunk of his hit points. So, let's go ahead and mosey on towards the Yag right over here. See if we can get some nice taps into his vehicle. So... There's a nice tap for 315. Alright. Let's go ahead and plop the reactive on just in case if he decides to pen us. So, let's go ahead and get a nice tap for 375. We are just playing this guy like crazy using our agility factors to the best of our ability. Alright, let's see if we can maybe get a hatch shell or we could just bounce him again. Alright, he does miss him as we did bait a shell from him pretty surprisingly enough. Alright, let's go ahead and use our heats and get a nice tap into him for 290. Reloading once again. Let's go ahead and get a hatching shell into him. Or he does expose the side, or he does over angle, I do meant to say. Pardon me. Oh my goodness. Alright, well we got the Yag once again. He bounces, of course, and there is a nice solid clear into his vehicle. Basically took all of his hit points away in that regard. So anyways, got the IS-7 off in the back. Let's go ahead and poke on out just a little bit, see if we can spot these guys. Just barely. Okay, not necessarily all the way, but that's totally fine. We got the T-30 now out in the open. Let's go ahead and plop ourselves over this ridge line and see if we can get a nice tap into his vehicle for 335. All right, let's go ahead and do it again. Let's see if we can bait a shell from him, actually. Come on, Stinker. I know you want to do it. Oh, yeah, buddy. You know you want to. Oh, I'm totally fine with taking a hit from you one way or another. Or that can work, too. It's just missing your shell. So, let's go ahead and mosey on through towards you, then. Let's get a nice tap for 325, plop on our adrenaline, and then mosey on around you and finish you off. That's the beauty part as well for a tank, surprisingly enough, with a troll upper plate, is that you got maneuverability factors, and that really contributes as well to circling around your vehicles, especially slow ones at that, especially for having a fairly solid power to weight in order to do such case along with that. Alright, well, we got the IS-7 off in the back. Hopefully the 268 moves so I could get a nice tap into him. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I also got the Hori off in the back as well. Let's go ahead and see if we can finish him off real quick. Beautiful. Alright. So now the IS-7 is going to mosey on towards the side. Let's see. Can we get a tap into his upper plate? Unfortunately not, as he is hidden. Or his lower plate is hidden at that. So it looks like that this 268 is going to be a little rat. And I can't even pen him in a scrape like that either. Well, that's totally fine. I mean, if you have teammates blocking you with the last kill, you know how greedy they are when they get in terms of that. So that's another fairly solid demonstration showing the E-50M's capabilities and what it's really good at doing. So this one, we were able to do 3506, block 1600, and surprisingly enough, do second on the team. The 268 version 4 actually outdid us that time. But anyways, the E-50M is a fairly solid vehicle. I would have to pencil it in as probably a brand new broken vehicle at that, considering that there is a lot of great things going for it. I would highly recommend to pick this thing up, especially because it is a very troll vehicle to use. So hopefully you guys did end up enjoying today's video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure that you turn on those bell notifications while you're at it so you don't miss out on any new videos. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.